Hello, everybody. So, welcome back. Oh my god, this episode was just too much. At some point, I was like, the feelers at the beginning, I was like, just get to the action, just get to the action. And then it gave us 8 minutes of action, and I was like, come on,
That's
I
all we
expected
get.
like, but seriously, the amount of lack of ah, hypocrisy was just like stinking every single way in this episode that it was so annoying that people could not see things that have been happening from seasons back to now, and then every a particular couple wants their marriage to be protected, their business to be protected, basically.
Mhm.
So why are you here? It's like oh, come on. But anyways, welcome back, guys, to our channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, subscribe, and drop your comments on what you thought about the episode. So now let's get into this episode of the thing. So the episode started off with Tisha and Melody having a conversation. And so just say Tisha. Ah, she looks like Tisha a lot. Kiki
He
and
does.
Mel having
Oh,
a
they do.
conversation. And Kiki was spilling tea.
Mm,
She
mm.
was uh,
Out her and Marsau. So the ex-boyfriends confirmed that something was going on and he found out about it between her and Marsau? Yeah, that's what he said. God. So at this point, I'm thinking about taking it to Tisha. I know you do. I couldn't live with myself and know that information and not make sure that she knows too. I don't see me being able to talk to her and be around her and not tell her this information. So I invited her over. I said, okay, when you have a chance tomorrow, come by. I want to talk to you about something. Yeah. Next day comes and goes. No word from her. Period. You ain't told her yet? Well,
Ooh. Ah, oh
Mm.
my. The quickness that Masao used to run and cower at the back of those women.
Is alarming. It's definitely giving BAN. Say that. Mm.
Because he always has words for women, but now you're stepping at the back of women to hide from a man.
Pretty special. Are you Tisha? Because I don't understand what's going on here. Kiki stopped talking because Tisha she stopped talking because her mouth was dry from the drugs. Like methadone, you keep talking about she's on methadone, but that's used to help reduce withdrawal symptoms from taking, from drugs. It's like an approach to maintenance. It could be used for maintenance therapy. So what is going on? Like what's the issue? It's like you keep bringing that up and at the end of the day you're allowed your opinions, but coming to be talking about someone being on drugs when you can't confirm that they are on their
The
drug guide.
same way you said we
Yeah.
cannot confirm if Masao has cheated, is the same way you have no proof that Kiki is on drugs.
And he's like, oh, it's still a drug, bird brain. Well, sis, you're
I
the one with
take
the brains,
I
aren't you?
take paracetamol, I take drugs for headache. Am I a drug addict?
She might call you one soon enough. There's no need to be disrespectful. You can have your opinions. There's no need to be calling nobody bird brain, hun. Like you said, you're too pretty for that, right? You're too pretty to be calling people bird brain. I will say that. Anyways, we move. Let's talk about this scene and
Yeah. So he said, "Oh, call the police. Let's get her drug tested." And then Amin stepped up. I was like, "See that?
he was
Now
not
that's a
gonna
man."
let that slide. And I loved it.
And I think people need to understand, like, okay, doing psychiatry, you meet a lot of people or loved ones that take care
Mm.
of their fellow ones that are used that have like problems with drug usage. There's one thing we always say that the treatment of drug abuse is not only on the patient that is using it, it's also on the It's also on the loved ones. You're not only treating the patient using the drugs, you're also treating the loved ones. Because if the loved ones are not standing 10 toes down with that person,
Mm-hmm.
it's not people like, that's why I don't allow, like when they say someone, I always take it very personal when people say this person is using coke, this person is using drugs, this person is using this. I take it very, very personal, because when you see people that are drug addicts, you will not just throw these names out. It's not something you will wish on your enemy, because this is very hard to come off. That's why most of them relapse.
Yep. And some of them, they'll be doing well for so many years and then relapse. Like, it's not fair to minimize their experience. It's not fair to, they're already dealing with a lot on a regular basis to try to stay clean. It's like a day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute journey. They could be fine all day and then something happens, right? So I feel like we need to be very careful in the way we frame people or call them names when it comes to these sorts of things, because unless you've sort of dealt with it, and even if you haven't dealt with it, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have basic empathy for, think about people that have lost their lives to different sorts of addictions, right? If it was so easy for people to just stay off, then people would stay off, right? It's not that easy. It's a journey, it's a process.
And that's why even when a patient is having like extreme pain, we try not to put them on like codeine, cocaine.
Mhm.
That's why there's like step of like drugs to take for pain, in pain medication, because it's not easy. It's not easy to stop. It's not easy to like. It's not easy, especially when it's like pill. When you are, when you have an addiction to pills that are very, very readily available. I mean, you
Right.
can just go off counter. I want to buy pain medication. They won't even ask you. Just say I'm having a headache or something. If they ask you, like if they
Mhm.
ask you, like you don't need to say anything. Oh, I had the leg sprain. I'm feeling immense pain. I need pain medication. There are so many excuses you can give,
Yeah.
and that's just the problem.
And the truth
So
is,
people.
can happen to anyone. Just because you've never had the opportunity to take strong opioids that you then developed an addiction towards does not mean that it could not happen to you. For instance, she was addicted to pain medication because she had something happen to her, right? And then used it. So and just because, like, yeah, you might feel like, oh, yeah, it's never going to happen to you. I'm sure certain people said that. It can affect anyone, right? So let's not act higher than mighty or holier than thou when it comes to that. And just because it hasn't happened to you does not mean you couldn't have a car crash, be put on pain medication, and then develop an addiction towards it.
I think people need to learn that, because when it then happens to you, everybody will laugh.
And then you want sympathy, and then you are not going to get it.
It's just so like, that's why I really had to like correct that thing that Pretty Special was saying, because it's very, very tone deaf to say such. Let me go to the comments. This not need to talk about Kiki's trial, otherwise they are married. Oh, I think I don't know what they're saying. Why is Kiki running around looking for death on her family member instead of getting help or dealing with her own husband cheating accusation? It seems like I need to draw your attention back to what was said in that conversation. Kiki said, and I quote, Tisha asked me to find information, and she said it in the presence of Tisha. So if Kiki was lying, Tisha would have countered and said, I never sent you to find any information. But Tisha never said such. Tisha sat back while she kept saying that you sent me out to find information, and when it was time for me to give you the um information I gathered, you disappeared. That was what she said. Yep, it's really not an easy situation, especially for the loved one. Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, what's a real G for actually doing that?
Yeah, it's like, you are not gonna clown my wife. If you clown your wife, you ain't doing that to mine. How about that? I
Oh,
love.
okay, this is the comment you wanted to say. You must be getting paid by the snot. The snot needs to talk about Kiki, otherwise their marriage is fair game. I mean, everybody's relationship, marriage, life is fair game. So why should we be protecting one person? Meanwhile, everybody's throwing dirt on every single person on the show.
100%. If we're all on a reality TV show, it's all fair game. Talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. It's all fair game. You can't say, oh, you can't talk about my marriage, but you can talk about other things. It just doesn't make any sense.
I totally agree with you in that assessment. However, you would think your time would be better spent making up for the harm you've caused people. Instead, she wants drama with her own family. I'm sorry, the only person that has really helped Kiki is actually her husband.
Mm-hmm. Because
Tisha
let's.
and her mom never helped her whatsoever,
Yep.
and they've said it from their own mouth. So we're going to follow what they said. They never stepped up for Kiki, and that's why they kept saying, "Oh, we don't want to help her if she goes back to drugs." So that's just it. So the only person she's responsible to make him feel good and happy is Amin, her husband. So let's just keep it at that. And yeah, I just think we'll agree to disagree because I don't think we're going anywhere.
Yeah, we ain't gonna agree.
Tisha won't argue with the likes of Kiki. Yeah, but she will argue with Instagram followers. All right. Okay.
Okay. To each his own. You don't have to not talk about them, just speak facts. I don't even know what is the part that isn't facts, to be honest. But anyways, I don't even want to get into it. Danny Morris is saying Kiki is free to do as she pleases. As for Tisha, to speak on your family trials is the worst thing you can do. There isn't any excuse for what Tisha did to her family. I'm guessing what Danny's talking about is Tisha actually talking about Kiki's addiction, and at the early stage. I'm guessing that's what that is. If not, clarify in the comment section. Let's know. Yes. No. Here's Sahara. That's pretty. uh, Kiki wasn't
Oh,
right. It was frustration. Yeah, you shouldn't, and I think let's probably say that because I know we haven't really talked about that last scene. We got a bit distracted, but you shouldn't be spraying water at nobody. That's assault. You shouldn't be doing spraying water, drink, whatever it is, at anybody. I don't care.
I was
And
surprised that security did not step in earlier. They
Mhm.
waited till they almost got physical to step in. That was very funny because someone would have actually thrown a blow.
I'm
And
sorry,
Kiki was wrong. I
she was
said
wrong
they should
again.
have stepped in earlier because someone would have actually gotten physical. Kiki was wrong. I understand being frustrated that someone is publicly mocking you because what Tisha did was on purpose to mock her.
Yep.
But I there's one thing, if we are doing a case of mockery in public, now if it's in private, yes, I can just like keep the whole thing up. But in public, I will never allow you successfully mock me. I will not act agitated. I will not throw anything at you. I will never get physical. I will just totally ignore you. But that hug that she swerved, nah, you will not swerve it. I will hug you and then I'll go to my seat and keep my conversation going. But immediately she saw them talking so high, wanting to overshadow her voice, all she could have done was stand up, move to the next table, be with someone where her head will be clear.
Yep, she didn't need to. She really played into their hands. I'll be completely honest. I felt like, no one should have a handle on your emotions like that. Like, no one should be getting you to the point where you're spraying water on them, like, or drink or whatever that was,
That just
right?
shows that you lack control of your emotions
A
because
hundred
that was
percent.
such it was a situation where it could she could have easily walked away.
Yep,
Nobody held her down. Nobody said she could not move. She could have walked away and none of this would have happened. None of this whatsoever.
100%. Like, yeah, I feel like Kiki has a lot of work to do, especially when it comes to controlling your emotions. Because the thing is, if you can be easily triggered like that, then people own you, they control you. They can literally decide how you react. All they have to do is create a scenario and then you play into their hands. You know, that's not right. So I definitely hope she learns from this and decides like, yo, I need to take more responsibility for my emotions. Um, let's see the chat. She hasn't argued with any of you. Your mother will do. Well, I don't be in her comments, so she can't be arguing with me. Um, what's Sahara Johnson saying? I would have gotten physical if water was poured on me. Facts, facts, facts. I don't start nothing, but if you pour water on me,
I
yes.
am hydrophobic. If I'm not batting myself, I don't like water touching me.
And also, like my face, I think she was even wearing white. Oh my goodness, I would not have had that patience. Like, yeah, for me, I'm defending myself after that. So anything that happens after that,
But
not
will
res-
Tisha be able to beat this girl?
ah no no.
Kiki looks like there's crazy in her.
Like she's going to be battling the demons on her. Like she's going on
Like,
popping, like smack down, like proper like Mortal Kombat. Finish her, like. Kiki looks like the one that like once she starts fighting, she doesn't stop until she sees blood. But yeah, just like yeah, nah, it's too funny to me. Um, let's see what's happening in the chat. Danny Morris, no one can argue with grammatically challenged individuals due to lack of comprehension. Ooh, Danny, you were spicy, honey. I am here for it. Like drops mic. Drops mic. Okay. Ooh, oh, unprovoked auntie. Do you know what? You guys in the chat, you're doing bits and I'm loving it. Thank you guys. So you mean her mother who she sends to argue with everyone? Ooh, it's the side eye for me, honey. Pretty special is saying Tisha is so classy. I guess we can agree to disagree on that one. Okay. Was there anything that we haven't covered from the episode? I feel like we pretty much covered it all, though.
yeah, I think so.
I feel like we did.
I can't wait for us to wrap up this she's a cokehead storyline. I'm even tired. I'm starting to even feel like I'm a cokehead at this point too. With the way they are talking about it over and over and over.
I don't like the way they're trying to ruin her credibility, and she's making it easy because she played into their hands with this performance by spraying water or whatever. I feel like, yeah, she really played into their hands because now everyone is like, oh, she's on Inch and she's on this and she's on that, when that may not necessarily be the reality, you know? So honestly, yeah, I wish, like, I really hope Kiki comes next season and does like a 180 and like just gives us a more classier,
I mean, she
chill.
can still redeem herself in the reunion.
Yeah, I hope she does. I hope she does. I think she needs to learn and take a page out of like Melody's book in the way in which Melody's classy about it. Like Melody will read a B, but she gonna be classy about it. And I think that's what she need. That's where she needs to get to. If not, she's going to be out here looking unhinged.
And cuckoo. Because when she sprayed that water and stood up and walked away saying, I was like, Jesus Christ.
I
Kiki,
know.
seriously.
I'm like you gave them the storyline like they've been looking for. It's like, you know, when they're like trying to put things together and then you give them that, they're like, "Ooh, this is gold." Now they just have to create a story around that.
And it's just so sad.
It's so sad. It's so sad. I personally don't believe Kiki is on you know, back on drugs. Like,
Yeah. She looks too sane to be on any drugs to me.
yeah, she's not. She's not. Like, people just need to cut it out and stop, you know, stop trying to make it seem like she's on something. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I think we've covered all the episode. I can't wait for next week. This season is really shaping up to look great. So I'm not
Yeah,
really bothered.
I feel like this season is what last season should have been. You see, the first they should have kept that in drafts and not like giving that to us. That comes
I
from.
was really bored. Did we even review that last
We
part like
did, but it
well?
was so boring. We were dragging. We were every time
I
we were doing.
think we kept skipping episodes.
Yeah, and also it kept like we kept finishing early. Like we'll just be like, okay, that's it, we're done. Like, cause there was nothing. It was so dry. Like there was really nothing to cover. And so I'm just like, I'm so glad like this season they've decided to actually, pay us back our time from last season. So
So I
mm,
guess that's all. Thank you all for coming and watching. We'll see you guys next week, Monday, for another review of Love Marriage Huntsville. Bye bye.
bye. Keep the same energy. Oh, pretty special. It's like thanks for not blocking me. I'm definitely on Tisha's side. I've always been. She's so high
Oh,
vibrating.
there's actually no problem
I
with you
love.
being on Tisha's side. To be
Honestly,
honest, I don't think I even hate Tisha. I just think that it's hypocritical that she speaks on every single person, but when people speak on her, it's like an issue. You have to keep the same energy. That's my opinion. You have to keep the same energy both for yourself and for every other person. You can't say, "Oh, I can talk about every other person's marriage. I can um fan rumors about somebody cheating, but then when someone talks about yours, it's oh, to keep my marriage out of your mouth, keep my marriage out of my mouth,
mhm.
and then you try to be protected in your businesses, in your lawsuits, in your everything. So what exactly are you giving us? So it's just like, come on, I'm tired of the smoke screen. So I don't hate Tisha, and you can definitely support Tisha. I really do not have a problem with that because
Yeah.
obviously it's not everybody that can like somebody.
100%. And I think for us on this platform, we don't silence people. We don't have to agree on stuff, right? But like you can come on here, have your say what you feel. Of course, like, being respectful, like we had to bring up the issue about the drugs thing. But aside that, like you don't have to be a melody stan or whatever. Like just come, yeah, if you want to talk and, give us a perspective on Tisha, that is absolutely fine as long as we're doing it respectfully. And yeah, we're not blocking you, girl. It's cool.
My husband is from Alabama, and class. We see
Daddy.
you guys next week, Monday, same time, 3 p.m. EST. We'll talk about episode 22. So, see you
And don't
guys. Bye.
see you later. Bye.